Salve a tutti e bentornati sul mio canale. Siamo nuovamente su The Stanley Parable. Ho ripreso a registrare subito dopo il video precedente che mi ha effettivamente lasciato in una situazione piuttosto di confusione e di insoddisfazione. E questo è il problema di questo gioco per ora, perché per quanto sia tutto molto interessante, molto bello, cioè come è fatto è figo, indubbiamente è figo, però c'è quella cosa che non riesco a capire, c'è il collegamento, alcune spiegazioni, alcune cose sono poste in modo che non riesco a capire. Questa mi dà un'insoddisfazione che non è, cioè è veramente fastidiosa per quel che mi riguarda. Però io mi ricordo di una cosa, la signorina aveva parlato, se non sbaglio, di quando... Ah no, no, non è vero. No, la signorina, nel museo c'era scritto che l'elevator, nel cargo, lì nel coso del cargo, c'era una zona che potevamo prendere, una strada secondaria che potevamo prendere. E io mi ricordo effettivamente di aver visto una porta aperta. Quindi adesso il nostro obiettivo sarà quello.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
A cosa serve? No, dai, non dirmi che ci sono delle porte che si possono aprire e altre no.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Ma che abbassarsi? Sapete che non ho capito a che cazzo serva.
Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first time understood true happiness. Then the feeling went away, and he felt sad again. Then it came back, and lingered for a minute. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
La porta che
Stanley
intendo...
was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he
Eccola,
wasn't
quella
5
lì.
years ago.
E poi dovremmo anche provare a fare una cosa. No, qua è tutto bloccato.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but... What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Era esattamente qui che volevo andare. Perché per forza di cose, se hanno avuto la genialità di creare una storia così particolare, questa narrazione, è ovvio che ci siano chicche del genere, cioè segreti, posti strani da...
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Ascoltiamolo, ha detto che vuole mostrarci qualcosa di
Oh,
bello,
thank
no?
God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Odio le porte nere in questo gioco.
What do we want? What are we looking for? Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
Che cazzo vuol dire? Aspettiamo ancora un attimo, magari succede qualcosa di...
No, wait. Where are you going? Right. Where were we?
Mi ricorda un sacco, non la scena di per sé, ma quello che succede e quello che dice lui, Doki Doki. Il fatto che ci siano veramente tante interazioni in base a quello che fai, quello che dici e quello che scegli in determinate occasioni. Però io... Che posto terribile è questo, Dio mio!
Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
Non so nemmeno cosa fare, che spiegazioni posso avere a tutto ciò.
Good, good. We can't be too safe. Promise me you won't go back there.
Ok, devo andare, mi stai dicendo dove vai?
Here.
E adesso sì.
No! What did we talk about? You're risking everything we achieved here.
Anche
You
perché
heard me
vuoi
before,
provare...
didn't you? You will die. What about this isn't getting through to you?
Ma you will die anche qui, che cazzo vuol dire?
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
Ho paura. Mi devo buttare? È veramente un bastardo questo gioco, eh. E io a sto punto, cioè, in base a cosa dovrei scegliere quale strada prendere? In base al casino che succede, cioè
Are you... You are going to stay here, aren't you?
ma devo stare per quanto tempo? Perché il gioco vuole che ci buttiamo. Però anche questo non ho capito, cioè... Mi sa che è uno di quei giochi dove bisogna andare a cercare su internet che cazzo vogliono dire le cose. E io sicuramente lo farò perché sono
Please,
interessato.
Stanley, think about what you're doing. No! Oh, thank God. You lived. You had me... No. No, no. What are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this? There. See? This is what you want. This is where we can both be happy. We really can. If we stop moving, we just have to stop moving.
Proviamo a star fermi. Io no. Allora, il punto è questo, mentre aspettiamo, non ho alcuna idea di cosa sia questo posto. Cioè di che cosa vuol dire che il narratore e Stanley siano felici. Non ha alcun significato per quel che mi riguarda. Nonostante ciò ho voglia di seguire quello che mi dice, no? Cioè vedere un po' tutte le opzioni, quindi per vedere se c'è una spiegazione che va oltre, nel senso un qualcosa di ancora più fottuto di cervello dopo tutto ciò, quindi mi spiace.
Stanley, go back. There's nothing good that can come from this. Do you just not believe me? What can I say to convince you? Stanley, let's go back to the other room. My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly? Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours. Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back. Already this was uncomfortable, and Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again in his life.
Cosa vuol dire quella cosa?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, giddy in a way he had never known before.
Sta cambiando frasi,
Was
però.
it this room? A connection between the two? Could a man love a room? I mean, truly, truly, deeply, madly love.
Mi ricorda anche un pochino Silent Hill PT, la demo.
Yes, really, really. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Perché anche in Silent Hill c'era
Stanley
questo
was so
concetto
bad
di
at following directions,
fare,
it's
rifare
incredible
sempre
he
le
wasn't
stesse...
5 years ago.
Quindi provare a fare una roba, no? Allora, di qua è chiuso. Di qua è chiuso. Là non ci potrei arrivare. Di qua è chiuso.
Oh, well, look who's got cold feet. Sorry to break it to you, Stanley, but that lift isn't coming back. You'd best either get comfortable right here on this platform, or test your luck by jumping to the floor below. You know what? Looking at it now, it's not that far to the bottom floor. I bet you can make it.
C'è una porta aperta, ora è bastardi.
Whoops. Looks like I was wrong. How clumsy of me.
Che bastardi due. M'hanno fregato, m'hanno veramente fregato.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could
Tra
it mean?
virgolette.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Perché
Perhaps he had simply missed
potevo
a
fare
memo.
altro, quindi...
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was grand, majestic, perhaps too majestic. Like a
Continua
combination of a much smaller version and a much larger
cambiare.
version of this exact room. It all made Stanley uncomfortable, and he started to bleed a little. This made him smile. At last, proof that he was human. But
cosa
eager to
interessante.
get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Perché ci dà sempre un'opzione. Abbiamo capito che il gioco è basato sulla libertà, ah sì, il concetto, sai, psicologico della libertà. Però perché adesso ci sono due stanze? Se lui vuole portarci in un punto? Forse lui non ha così tanto il controllo quanto pensa. Il problema è che lui chi è rispetto a noi?
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door. All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Questa cosa qui è stata una figata.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come from? How did I know the game needed a third door? Well, it's instinct mostly, a calling in your gut. I really couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul. You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Questo è veramente Portal. Cioè le porte che si aprono. eh, che, che- no, fammi leggere. Sono veramente curioso adesso. È uguale a prima. E se io entrassi in una di queste?
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
E
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience. You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out, I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot. Well, Stanley, is this any better? At last, the one thing you've always desired. A game I had absolutely nothing to do with. But is it enough? Tell me that, Stanley. Will it ever be enough? Well, I'll say this. I'm done making things for you. From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic purpose. Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house. This will go here. No, here. And then... Let's see, what does it need? Yes, of course. And just to finish it all off, yes, it's complete. I made this, Stanley. Look at it. Gaze upon my work of art and feel ashamed at your own inadequacy. But you've only seen it from the outside. You've only gotten half the experience. Please, step inside and make yourself comfortable. Isn't it grand? Isn't it perfect? It could only be better if... Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond. Diamond everything. Yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
Questo è Minecraft, ma cosa cazzo sta succedendo? Ma la musica di
Oh my, it looks like it's going to get a bit dark. Have you brought a light? Oh, no. This is far more open-ended than I had in mind. I'm looking for something more narrow and linear. Something that makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5. Even the diamonds couldn't save this one. Okay, new game.
No. Cioè, se prima era da mind blow, adesso che cazzo è? Portal.
Yes! I don't even know what this game is, but I love it. You, trapped in a glass box with no way out, listening to me talk. Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself. What is this game even supposed to be? I can't figure it out. Okay, now I'm curious. Let's go find out what the hell this is.
Ma io non ci posso credere. Ma stai giocando a...
It's a puzzle. Critical thinking, Stanley. Your forte.
Sembra...
Genius.
Se facessi adesso uno screenshot penserei davvero di essere su Portal.
No, actually, you know what? I think that's plenty. I really don't care much to see you stumble through any more of these games. and I highly doubt you're any wiser for the experience. Which is why, rather than continue to waste my time, I'm just going to leave you here. You can pretend you've beaten the game if it makes it any richer for you, but as for me, I've had enough. So, why don't you get cozy in this room, and if you have any grand revolutionary ideas for the perfect video game, you can just sit there and let it ball up inside you for all eternity. I don't need your advice. I don't need your ratings. And I certainly don't need the validation of a man whose job is to push buttons. I think I'll just go about my business, making meaningful cultural contributions to the world. And perhaps every now and then I'll think back to a man named Stanley who was objectively wrong in every decision he ever made. The thought won't last long. Goodbye, Stanley. Good luck with your work, and I sincerely hope that everyone lives happily ever after.
Incommentabile tutto ciò. Ho paura. Perché facevo i passi così pesanti?
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it, down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Allora, il video sarà sicuramente venuto lunghissimo, però non potevo non guardare cosa c'era nella stanza blu lì, quella lì che poi è diventata tutta quella dei giochi. Però io non so se farò altri video perché a sto punto è così tanto aperto e non saprei dire quali stanze devo ancora fare, quali percorsi posso prendere. Io penso di essere arrivato alla conclusione che tutto ciò sia semplicemente una serie di idee molto interessanti e eh, intelligenti per far vedere determinate cose che però non riesco a capire. Perché sarà che io non so, non ci sto arrivando, ma io non sto capendo niente di quello che sta succedendo. Cioè, ho capito che sì, la quarta parete si rompe, ho capito che c'è un narratore, ho capito tutto il discorso sulla libertà, ma il videogioco, no? A che cazzo serve? Cioè, questo è il punto, no? Io continuo ad arrivare a punti ciechi, a vicoli ciechi, molto fighi perché sono fighi, cioè sono interessanti, sono inquietanti, Però se non si capisce un cazzo, non va bene, non va bene. Quindi io adesso penso che farò qualche altra partita per i fatti miei, per vedere se ho mancato qualche strada, per vedere... A parte che no, sicuramente una strada l'ho mancata, quella lì finale, nel primo finale che ho fatto, ho deciso di tirare, cioè di spegnere il super coso, no? Se io schiacciassi su on, quella è una cosa che devo fare, ce ne saranno altre sicuramente, ma giocando me ne renderò conto. Però non penso che registrerò quelle cose perché a livello, cioè, non so, io non so a che cosa sto giocando, non so che cosa vuole raccontarmi questo gioco, non so il, il perché. Dal punto di vista videoludico, io ho una Play 4 qua vicino, potrei essere a giocare a God of War, perché quello che mi sta succedendo qui non è, non è niente. E quindi poi magari non è vero, magari c'è una rivelazione, magari c'è effettivamente un finale, non lo so, una spiegazione potrà esserci, ma per quello che sto provando finora, nonostante i video stiano venendo sempre più lunghi, io stia continuando a giocarci, sto avendo veramente poco in mano. Ed è una sensazione veramente di merda, quindi io per questo video finisco qui, magari farò un altro video, non lo so, deciderò molto presto, però per ora va bene così. La mia idea l'ho detta, è semplicemente la verità, quindi, e non è del tutto negativa, perché sembra che io debba attaccare il gioco a tutti i costi. Quello che ho visto è comunque di un certo livello, cioè è comunque geniale, è comunque molto ben fatto, molto ben studiato. Il problema è il fine, e il problema è quello. Quindi per questo video va bene così, ci vediamo alla prossima, grazie a tutti per la visione.